You're weeks, maybe months off meth. You did the hard part, you stopped. But now comes something worse. Food tastes flat. Music doesn't resonate. Sex feels mechanical. Life feels colourless. Not painful, just empty. And the thought creeps in, if this is sobriety, I don't know if I can do this. That moment right there is where relapse is decided. Not because of craving, not because of weakness, but because pleasure hasn't returned. There are two common explanations people hear after meth abstinence. The first, your dopamine is fried. It just takes time. The second, this is depression, treated like any other. Both are incomplete. And that's why so many people relapse after detox, not during it. In this video, I want to explain why anhedonia is often the most difficult phase of meth recovery. 2, what's actually happening in the brain. And 3, how pleasure returns slowly, predictably, and when recovery is approached the right way. I'm Dr. Sanil Rege, consultant psychiatrist, educator, and founder of Psych. And in a few minutes, I'll explain why anhedonia after meth isn't just one thing, and why misunderstanding it quietly sabotages recovery. Let's start off with the fear almost everyone has. And in my previous videos on meth, this is a statement that's concerned many. I've permanently damaged my brain. Methamphetamine does result in significant neuroadaptation. Dopaminergic terminal stress, altered D2, D3 receptor availability, serotonergic disruption, and changes in salience signaling, which is really about how the brain tags relevant stimuli. But here's the key reframe. Anhedonia after meth is not a single deficit. It's really a reorganized reward system. What's disrupted isn't just pleasure itself, but rather how the brain anticipates, initiates, and experiences reward. And those are different processes. So let's first understand the 3 types of anhedonia. Here's the model I use clinically. Anhedonia isn't one thing. Now, I've covered anhedonia in more detail in this video here. Anhedonia has 3 components. 1, anticipatory anhedonia. This is the looking forward to problem. The brain no longer generates expectation, no pull towards the future, no sense that effort will be worth it. This is heavily dopaminergic and is affected by meth. 2, consummatory anhedonia. This is the even when I do it, I feel nothing problem. Pleasure during the activity itself is blunted. This is the part people notice most, but it's often not the first to recover. And 3rd, motivational anhedonia. This is the getting started problem. Even when someone intellectually wants to do something, the spark to start is missing. It's not laziness, not apathy. This is impaired salience to action coupling, which is really about the brain's tag this is what I want to do, but the translation to action is what's impaired. And here's the important point. These 3 anhedonias recover at different speeds. Judging recovery too early, especially by feeling alone, leads to despair. So we're not just focusing on how the individual feels. Because if we do that, it often leads to despair, and despair drives relapse. This isn't depression in the usual sense. This isn't motivational failure. This is really about recalibrating how the brain understands reward. Now let's bring meth into the picture. You see, meth use creates a unique anhedonia profile. Meth isn't just a stimulant. It massively increases phasic dopamine. I've covered the pharmacology in a few videos. It collapses effort-reward gradients and teaches the brain a new rule. Reward should be immediate, intense, and guaranteed. That learning affects the individual more than the drug itself. So now when meth is removed, the brain doesn't just feel low, it feels uncertain because with meth use, the effects were immediate, intense, and predictable. Now without meth, it feels uncertain. Same world, same activities, but the prediction system no longer matches reality. I often describe this as the object minus the substance problem. So we get work without meth, connection without meth, sex without meth, pleasure without meth. Everything feels unfamiliar, not because it's bad, but because the brain hasn't relearned how to value those objects yet. So this requires a new learning where the brain begins to value the object on its own without the previous reliance on meth. Why is anhedonia so important in the treatment of methamphetamine use disorder? It's because anhedonia predicts relapse. Anhedonia, especially anticipatory anhedonia, is one of the strongest predictors of dropout from treatment, early relapse, and hopelessness. Individuals don't relapse to feel good. They're relapsing to feel something predictable. In the other video, I touched on how the brain did not evolve for happiness, but rather to make the world predictable. And in individuals who've used meth for a long time, meth made reward reliable and predictable. So the question is, what helps and what doesn't? So let's start off with medication. Medication can help, but only if we're clear about what we're treating. SSRIs may not target anhedonia adequately, simply because they do not target dopaminergic circuits and may even blunt dopaminergic circuits. However, they may be useful in certain anxiety states. Strategies that support tonic dopamine stability may be beneficial. Bupropion, carefully considered dopaminergic or noradrenergic approaches, but ensuring tonic balance through long-acting agents rather than the immediate release agents that provide greater phasic dopamine. Medications that reduce craving or reduce arousal, improve sleep, all provide benefits in maintaining tonic dopamine stability. So medication is useful, but acts as only one tool within the overall picture. We use medication to now open up the window for behavioral change, to feel differently. But here's where most people get stuck. They ask, do I feel better yet? You see, feeling is a trailing signal. Early recovery often feels flat because learning is happening. There's uncertainty. So treatment that prioritizes structure over motivation, rhythm over intensity, predictability over excitement tends to do better. Because emotion follows movement. Reward follows repetition. Pleasure follows trust. Happiness follows predictability. Brains heal through predictable environments. Now, this matters beyond methamphetamine use disorder. The same anhedonia pattern appears in long-term stimulant misuse, behavioral addictions, high-performance burnout, and chronic stress states. The mechanism is the same. So if you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. Anhedonia after meth is not the absence of pleasure. It's the brain relearning how to predict reward. And recovery, therefore, isn't about chasing feeling, but rather about rebuilding predictability within the individual's environment. Activities, emotions, people. I'm Dr. Sanil Rege, and you're watching the Dr. Rege channel. For clinicians, this framework is explored in depth inside the Academy by Psych, and particularly in the Neuroscience of Addiction. If you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe button, and share this video with someone who needs it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, stay curious. Bye-bye.